Hello, my friend, Aimee Esther here, and today, as I'm filming this, I am exactly 28 weeks pregnant, which means officially, starting today, I am in the third trimester of this pregnancy. This is my third pregnancy, and everybody says that it'll go by faster, and it has been the longest 6 months of my life. So we got 3 more months to go, and then we will finally meet this sweet baby girl. So I am filming this just chilling on my bed, super relaxed, right up next to my camera, no microphone. I'm just using the mic on my camera, so I apologize if the quality is not great today, but I could not do it. I just couldn't. It has been rough, especially this week has been tough. We're gonna talk about that today. Today I'm just gonna share with you a health update, kind of a second trimester recap, and the big event of the second trimester, and yeah, how I'm doing health-wise. I stopped doing health updates for a while, but then people were asking for them. I also just I realized I enjoy just sitting down and chatting with you. So everybody says that the second trimester is the easiest, that you feel the best, and that was not my story this round. I really need to go back and look through my last pregnancy. I really want to compare the two, so maybe I'll do a whole video on that where we compare my last pregnancy to this pregnancy, because it's like when I'm in this one, I'm feeling like this has to be the worst, but maybe it was this bad last time and I just don't fully remember, because our memories are a little skewed when we are looking back at things. So the first trimester, if you've never been pregnant, typically people are more nauseous. They have a lot of hormone changes, and you don't look pregnant, but you just feel so sick. And you just feel kind of terrible. And that, for a lot of people, is the worst trimester. And then they say, oh, once you're in the second trimester, those kind of symptoms ease up and you feel better. And then the third trimester, you don't feel so sick, but you're just so big that you're having symptoms from that. More heartburn, more frequent urination, having a harder time sleeping, back pain, pain everywhere, all of that stuff that comes from just getting so big. And so they say the second trimester is the easiest. And when I got out of the first trimester, I did start to feel better. I would say like right around that second trimester, like 14 weeks where I started the second trimester, I felt significantly better. I was feeling good. I had more energy. I wasn't so nauseous, and I was able to kind of function again. And then it was probably a month into the second trimester, it just slowly started to get worse and worse and worse. Probably around 20 weeks is when it started, and I swear every week since then has gotten worse. I had like 1 week 2 weeks ago that was good. I don't know why. I don't know if baby eased up, but it just all came back this week. So we're still in it. I just feel really fatigued, really achy. I feel like I just have no energy for anything. I want to sleep all the time, but that sounds not that hard. And it's hard to explain, and you people who live chronically ill, who follow my channel, who know what it's like to live with chronic fatigue, it's not just you feel tired and you don't have the energy to do big things, but like you don't have energy to do little things. I feel like just doing the dishes or just getting my kids food is just so exhausting. And I just feel like I've been honestly like a vegetable. This whole trimester has been so rough, and I have been really struggling. And then I think because of that, I struggle a little more mentally. Like already I have the hormones where I always get a little depressed, a little extra anxious when I'm pregnant, just from the extra hormones and things. But then on top of it, not being able to really function and do a lot. And I get kind of down on myself for not being able to do things that I want to do. And so my mental health has also been just kind of out of whack. And I feel like I've just been complaining 24/7 and just really not myself. I've been a little extra sad, a little extra frustrated. I feel like I get annoyed easier. It's just like all of my emotions seem just like way heightened, and yeah, it's just been hard. I mean, yesterday I wanted to go to Chick-fil-A and my husband said we don't have it in the budget, which we didn't, and we're trying so hard to stay on budget for this baby. And I literally started crying because I couldn't get Chick-fil-A, okay? So it's been rough. It was a classic pregnancy crying over Chick-fil-A, but it's just like all of my emotions are so heightened. I just feel off. I just don't feel like myself. I just feel, yeah, just off is the right word. And then on top of that, last week, I ended up in the ER. So I got some sort of food poisoning or really bad flu or something last week because I seemed, my normal not feeling good self, but then I got super nauseous. It was Thursday night. I got so nauseous. I was just getting worse and worse as the night went on. And then probably about 11 o'clock, I got to the point where I was like, I am so uncomfortable that I need to throw up. Like, I want to throw up because I am so uncomfortable with how nauseous I am right now. And so I finally got it out, thinking like, oh, I'm going to feel better after I get this out. And I couldn't stop. So from that time, it was probably 10 or 11 p.m. that I started throwing up. Sorry, this is gonna be a lot of grossness. I'll try to spare the grossest details from you, but it was pretty nasty. So if you don't like nasty stuff, then don't listen to this, because I had the nastiest food poisoning, sickness, flu, whatever it was. And I start throwing up and I cannot stop. And I think I threw up for probably 5 hours after that until we finally took me to the ER, and it was coming out both sides and all the places and just the worst in all the areas. It was so bad, and it was like I couldn't control any part of my body. This is so TMI, but I literally had to wear a diaper because I could not control my insides from coming out, okay? And it was literally nonstop. Like, I'd maybe have like a 10-minute break, and then it would come back, and it would just go and go and go, and there was nothing left. I don't know how there was anything left inside me, and yet I was still throwing up for just hours and hours. And finally, probably 4 or 5 hours in, I don't even know what time it was, honestly, but it was the middle of the night, probably 3 a.m., my husband said, we need to take you to the ER because this is getting not safe for baby. Because not only could I not stop throwing up and other things, but I also was so fatigued and achy to the point where I couldn't even stand up. I was just shaking. I was literally just sitting in the shower, shaking because I didn't know what else to do. And finally my husband took me to the ER, and we got me on fluids, and I was still throwing up, other things, wearing a diaper. It was coming out all the places uncontrollably. And until I got some IV nausea medication in me, I didn't stop. It just kept going. And I finally stopped throwing up. I still had diarrhea for probably 8 more hours after that, throughout the next day. But at least I stopped throwing up after I got that nausea med, but they couldn't give me any pain because I was also in the worst stomach cramping pain. I knew that the baby was okay because I was feeling her kick the whole time. I also just could tell, I don't know, maybe I should know my body super well, but I just knew it was intestine pain. It just felt like my intestines were just destroying themselves. So once I got the nausea meds and the IV, I stopped throwing up, which was good. I felt less nauseous. I still didn't feel good. I went from a 9 out of 10 to a 6 or 7 out of 10. So I still didn't feel good, but I felt so much better that I was able to go home and finally get some sleep because I did not sleep all night. My husband was up with me all night too. He didn't sleep all night. It was rough, and I still felt pretty sick by the morning. They had called my OBGYN in the middle of the night and said, go see him in the morning. And so I went to see him in the morning, and I was feeling, like I said, better, but not good. I got another round of fluids and more IV nausea medication, and was feeling much better after that. And by then I knew I was through the worst of it, and it just kind of got better from there. I definitely had ups and downs over the last week where I finally feel like I'm through it at this point. It's now Tuesday of the next week, where I finally feel like I am through that, I don't know, flu or whatever it was that I had. Luckily, we are doing good. Baby was doing good. They did do an ultrasound at the ER and double checked that she was good, which I knew she was. I could just tell she was kicking, and like I said, I could tell it was GI pain. I was more worried about being so dehydrated. That was my worry with her. So luckily we were able to get some IVs going and help me to get hydrated and all good. So that was my ER visit. Again, I feel like I'm just always at the ER. And funny enough, we live like so close. We live like 2 minutes from an ER. And we had a family member who lives pretty close come over to stay with the kids so Josh could come with me that night, which was so nice of them because it was the middle of the night and nobody wants to leave their house in the middle of the night and go sit at someone else's house for a few hours. I'm trying so hard to be patient, and some days I am and sometimes I'm not. And this week I think I've had a bit of a flare just after being so sick. Saturday after, I was feeling better, and you know how when you feel a little bit better, even though you're not 100%, but your brain is like, I could run a marathon right now. I feel so good just because you're better than you were before. It's kind of how it was Saturday, and so I just deep cleaned my house. I do not want my kids getting this. Also, nasty things happened in this house, and I was like, I gotta just deep clean everything. So I steam cleaned like my whole house. It was insane. Like I went crazy. And then I think because of that, plus being sick, plus being pregnant, plus already having multiple chronic illnesses, I've just had like a huge flare this week. So luckily my house is clean, like the cleanest you've ever seen it. It might not look tidy, there's toys everywhere, but it is so clean. Like the germs they're gone. They are definitely gone. But the second trimester is over, and I am so happy about that. I am so ready to be on to the third and prepping for baby and the last stages. So it's still 3 months away, but I'm trying to take it just a little bit at a time and trying to have one thing every month that I'm like looking forward to, so that I'm not just sitting here thinking about how long it is until this baby gets here. So that's where we're at. Sorry it was gross. I seriously spared many details, and still was probably a nasty video, but that's what happened. If you enjoy these health updates, let me know in the comments below and give this video a like, and I'll see you next week. Bye.